Hello, everyone. My name is Lebo. As a mother, one thing I've noticed about parenting is that it's a blessing. However, it comes with a lot of responsibilities, as God has entrusted me and you with the life of another human being. So on this channel, we are all about parenting. We are all here to talk about our journey of parenting. We are just here to enable each and every single one of us as parents to be conscious in our parenting skills. So today I've got a very special guest. Her name is LESEGO. She is a mother. LESEGO, welcome to my channel.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing? Is it like being a mother though?
Like you just said, being a mother is a blessing for me. However, it's also by far the most difficult role that I have to play because I'm a single mother. And my daughter, wow. She, when people say, when I asked for a mini-me, I was talking about looks. Then I got a mini-me in terms of my attitude. So she's like double trouble.
Because the apple finally fell from the boom.
Yeah, whoa. This apple is something else.
So clearly now you understand what your parents were going through.
I went through, like, I even had to move back home for my mom to help me raise her because I was like, okay, you managed with me, surely you can help me manage with this one, because at first it was a bit difficult. I couldn't understand her. She's very firm and, she stands for what she believes in. And I wanted to start with that thing of you're a child, I'm a mother. And it didn't go that well because she's very firm. Then I came back home and now I'm parenting with my parents. So yeah, it's a lovely journey. If in my next life, I'll do it again.
Oh, that's lovely. But you indicated that you are a single parent. How come you're a single parent? Because the reason why I'm asking how come you're a single parent, people tend to, categorize single parenting as something as if there's something wrong with you as a person, like you can't keep a man, or just something negative associated with single parenting. So I just don't understand, because I always tell people that I did not wake up, or it was never my dream to say I'm a single parent. Circumstances made me to become a single parent. So how did you become a single parent? Was it a matter of choice? Because I'm sure that other people just don't want certain things.
Lebo, what's life? You can plan it one way and then it happens the other way. My parents are still married for 42 years, so I grew up in a family structure. Like you said, I never dreamed of being a single parent. I even waited for as long as I could. I had my child at the age of 26. I thought that I had everything figured out. The plan was never to be a single parent, but life happens. One of the things that I told myself as a child, having experienced certain things, I saw that it is best to have your parents separated and having harmony than being together just because of you. It causes more harm to feel that your parents are together because of you as a child, not necessarily because they love each other. So I made a promise to myself as a child to say, I want to have a proper family. However, I am not going to stay if things don't work out. So I planned for the child. We planned for the child. Yeah, and life just happened.
But how's the journey though with being a single parent, and how is he too involved, or is he just involved based on his abilities? Because remember, sometimes we tend to, as women, we have a lot of expectations where maybe the guy can only afford maintenance of 500. And then because I wanted 2,000, I can easily say, no, he's not being a father, he's not supporting, but not understanding that maybe that's his ability. So I just want to understand the involvement of the father. How is it though?
You know what? I have learned something recently to say that when we are people, we are in different stages of our lives. There was a point whereby I think I was trying too hard to get him physically involved, because there was a point where financially I felt that I can do everything by myself. I didn't really need that much help. And then my finances changed. Then I had to get him involved. but I wanted him involved financially and physically. However, I realized that as people, we go through different stages. So I allow him to be as involved as he wants to be.
Based on his ability.
Yes. Sometimes he can go months without talking to the child, without asking. But then when he comes up, he just, So I allow that. I make sure that I don't use the child or use my position to fight him. And I don't want to use that thing. No, you have to be involved. Your child is doing this and that, because we are not in the same space.
I agree with you, because I was in a similar situation where the father was not as active as I wanted him to be. But I think as women, sometimes we let our emotions get a hold of us, to a point that when you see this person, actually, and I honestly don't believe as well as in reminding somebody about the responsibility, hey dude, because the fact that you even indicate that you plan for the child, so it's not necessarily more of it was a one-night stand or what people call as a mistake. This was a planned child. So even if you guys failed somewhere, somehow, you had to find. But how is it though? Do you guys have a structure in place? How is it going?
Oh, at the current moment, to tell you the honest truth, there's no real proper structure. Like I'm saying that I have learned to allow him as and when he wants to be involved. Because I've realized, man, this thing is very important. And the thing is, we are not aware of it, but we are not on the same page all the time. And allow people to go through what they are going through. Because if I try too much to get him involved,
he's going to go away.
He's going to be physically involved, but doing more damage to the child. What I'm trying to do now is to make sure that the child, I'm trying to close the space so that the child doesn't feel that thing to say, oh, nah, because my father is not here, then this and this. I don't have this because I don't have a daddy. But the child also, she has his days. She has her days whereby she feels like, so where is this guy? And then sometimes she's fine, because I try to make sure that everything is covered.
But how do you handle it? Because let's be honest, you can never be her dad. Because as much as you can cover for the basic needs and not make her feel like umasa something, but you can never play a role of a father. I hear people, and I respect it when they say I'm a mother or father, but there's the reason why there's a mother or father. There's certain roles that a father plays than a mother. But doesn't it hurt you when your child asks you this? Because it's not like you're denying the person that access. But doesn't it hurt you? Because I remember with my daughter, I used to go to a point where I would arrange with other family members just to get her to see the guy as regular as possible, to a point that it became a tradition, if I can put it that way, that to a point that I did not have to do anything anymore. He just automatically became part of the plan. But how is it? Because I honestly don't want to see my daughter being hurt. That's one of the painful things I think a parent can go through, to see your child being hurt about something that you have no control over.
Okay, maybe let me just take it back to where it started. We separated when the child was 2 years old. None of us was staying with the child, because I was in Bloemfontein, he was in Joburg, and the child was home. So when we separated, because the child was in a different place already, so she did not see the fact that we are not together anymore. Now, when I had to take the child and I stayed with the child and it was only the two of us, wow, that's when at that time I felt very overwhelmed, because I was trying my utmost best to play the role of the father and the mother. But I felt that this is becoming overwhelming. And I admitted to myself to say, I'm a first-time mom. I don't know much. I planned this with somebody. We had a whole plan of how we want our kids to be raised, where we want them to go to school and all of those things. Now that the person is not here, I had to do everything. I had to admit to myself to say, I'm not coping. And then it was between, you going to bring the child back home, or I I decided to say I will go home with the child, because I either had to bring the child back home to stay with my parents because I was not coping. But then I felt, if I take the child back to my parents, when will I ever learn to be a mother?
Yes.
So I said, let me go and stay with my mom so that she can teach me to be a mom while she's mothering my child and me at the same time. So my mother is a mother and a godmother at the same time.
But how is it though? What are the greatest lessons that you're picking up? Because I understand there are certain things when it comes to my parents, especially my mom, I thought she was just, I didn't understand them when I'm younger.
I used to.
And now, because I'm a mother myself, now somehow I see value. But however, though, our parents tend to have a soft spot for the grandchildren versus, because I find sometimes on certain things that I was not allowed to do. It was unacceptable. But for some funny reason, when it comes to these little ones,
They let them get away.
no, let the child be. But wait a minute. When it was me, you said, and that's why I'm the way I am.
I also used to be, amazed, but this woman used to be very strict. Why is she so soft? Now what's happening? This woman used to shout at me and everything. And now when she's talking to the child, she's more calm. And then I understood to say that my mother taught me, like she's still teaching me how to be a child. And she's saying there is stages for a child. There's a way that you approach a child. Now, we are being harsh on our kids, or we think that we're being harsh. Wait and see when we're going. You are going to be soft. But when it happened, we thought our parents were being hard on us. But now we are being hard on our kids. So I think it goes generations to generation. You get softer as you get older. And then we are going to be harder. You're going to be softer on our grandkids. Our kids are going to be harder on their kids. So, it's like you learn every day. There are books, you can have a book to say parenting together and all that. But parenting is practical.
Yeah.
Very practical. Because the other thing is that kids are different.
Yes.
They've got different personality. They've got different needs. They've got different ways of doing things. And now if you want to sometimes what we do, we take what the book said without matching that with the personality of the child. When I'm saying to you that it was very difficult for me when I started, my child had to go for, what was this class again? Emotional intelligence for kids at the age of 3. Because I just couldn't understand her. Like,
Is this that? I didn't know this.
I did not know until I had to find. This one day I found it. They were doing campaigning in the mall. They were standing there with their books to say emotional intelligence for the kids. I'm like, what is this? I think I need this. I don't know what is this, but I registered immediately to say, before I kill this child, not literally.
Yes, but I get you.
Yes. I was like, whatever this is, I need it. I don't know what is it. I've never heard of it. I've never been to one, but we need to do this. So at those classes, they taught us, these different types of kids. There's different ways that you deal with a child, and then you as a mommy as well, as a parent, you've got your own personality. So how the personality clashes or how you can work together. But so we learn different ways of parenting.
But how is it though? Because with our kids, like you're saying, that they do get to us because we've got life that we're trying to sort out ourselves, and then there's this little one here. But how is your communication with your child?
I try. The other thing that I've noticed is that we, especially as young parents, we try too much to structure the child in a certain way. Like, it's like a child is a test, man, or an exam. You're marking everything that they're doing. That's right. That's all. So what I do is that I allow her sometimes to be who she is so that I can understand without correcting. Just let her be so that you can say, oh, she's like this. So, and then from what you have seen, that's where you can try and correct or direct me. So, like I'm saying, my child is very independent. She's very firm. When she says she wants something, she does it. So, I try. Our communication is, I won't say that of two adults. but I don't treat her like, you are a child, this is what you're supposed to do. What she used to do, let me tell you a funny work story. What she used to do as a child when we were starting to stay together. So I will use the I'm a parent, you're a child kind of a thing. And then when we have an argument, because she always wins.
Like she always wins. I like the fact that you admit
She
it.
always wins because she argues with facts.
Yeah.
Like you all go like, yuck, man. There was a time when she had she was saving money for herself. She wanted a car, and I told her, I'm not gonna buy you a car. I'll buy you
Which car? A toy car or a car?
a toy car.
Okay.
Then we did the saving thing. So she had to save for the car. And then after she saved for the car, we went to the toy shop. She had her spare parts. And then she went into the shop. I'm here to buy a car. Then there's those ones, those ones of 5,000 and what the one you can
Yes.
get. She wanted that car. I'm like, not that one. Your body can't buy that car. And she was like, but mommy. And then I showed her the small one. How am I supposed to drive this thing? So I told her, I don't know, you'll play with it. Like, but you don't play with your car. You get in. I want the car that was destined. The lady was like, okay, that's my cue.
But how did you handle it though?
And I promised her that I'll get it the next time, but because I couldn't afford it in time. So we got her the one for the remote. At least it was.
But I think it's also important for us to be honest with our kids and ourselves. And instead of you going out there and not robbing the bank, but just because this child does not understand, because at their age, she does not understand the value of money. So for her, that whatever she saved, it's good enough to take her whatever she
I
wants.
save money, so here's the money. I want the car. So I told her, no, you're supposed to get a doll, not a car. And she's like, who said so? It's like, cars is for guys, for boys. Like, mommy, you are not a guy, but you have a car. So why can't I get a car? That's what I'm saying. She argues with facts. What do you say to a child when you do that? But you are not a man and you have a car. And you drive it, you get into your car and you drive it.
But I think the journey of parenting, in a nutshell, it's a good one. It's a nice one. It's fun if ever you let it be. Because I honestly think kids bring out, like listening to your stories, they bring out that spark in your life that obviously you'd never even thought that such a person at that young age can come up with such things and answers and all those type of things.
I can tell you, I've studied a lot. I've went to school, different schools. But this child on her own, she's my school alone because I learn every day. She taught me. My child did a lot of different extramural activities. So I was trying to expose her to different activities to say there's no limitation. There's no, this is for this kind of this is for this. You can do anything that you want. You can choose which one you want to take as a streamline. So from her, only watching her doing anything that she wants to do, I also learned. So I can actually do anything that I wanted to do. And she, you know what? She took me out of the box of society.
I would love
A child that I gave birth to. All my life that I've lived, I was told how to live a life. I had to give birth to somebody for me in order to realize that I'm actually living inside a box. I'm doing things the way I was told by society.
Not that it was working out for you.
It was not really working out for me, but it was what I was told.
Yeah.
Now, looking at her, living her life freely, doing what she wants to do at the time that she wants to do it, the way that she wanted to do it, I was like, if she can do it, why can't I? And I have to tell you, I have taken serious life decisions just based on it.
But
if I have to be a parent again,
I was about to ask you, do you plan on having another child? Because there are people after they have one child, and based on the struggles that we've discussed, and based on the fact that you are a single parent and there was no partner involved, do you ever think of having another child though? That's nice.
I'm looking for a baby daddy.
Do we even go there, look for them? Or are you waiting for him to come?
There was a time when I thought, no, I don't want a child, I'm fine. But like I'm saying, if I can have this feeling multiplying in my life, I will definitely do it again. No.
And then how do you deal with the dating? Because now she's 9.
Ooh.
Do you introduce your partner to your child, how are you going on about that aspect of dating? Because now, remember now, there are certain things that are going on in our societies, and then how do you go about it?
Oh, that is another aspect. Oh, and especially when you are mothering a girl child, because you are trying your utmost best to be a role model. It hasn't been easy, let me tell you. At first, because it was only the two of us, there wasn't much that I could do. When I have to date a guy, I will bring the guy home, and then she will ask, "Mommy, is Uncle this and this my new daddy?"
My new daddy.
Like, do you want him to be your daddy? No, I'm just asking because I've seen him here a couple of times. And then I realized, but because I thought she's still young, she was 3, 4 at the time. But then I realized that I can't keep doing this. I took the longest break in dating. And like I'm saying, for me, when I started, it was a bit difficult. I took the longest break from dating, concentrate on understanding my child and raising my child so that she can be able to, stand on her own 2 feet. I'm not sure if I'm still on the break
or not.
kind of.
But
in terms of introducing, just to answer the question, introducing her to guys, you try your utmost best to say, I'm not going to introduce my child until a certain stage. And people can pretend until a certain stage.
Besides being pretending, you wouldn't love a man. Sometimes you're just so in love and you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. And this is it, So and it's okay sometimes. I think as well as mothers, we should not be too hard on ourselves.
Yes.
Because sometimes I don't think we do it intentional of introducing somebody that you think that there's no future. But however, though, even if things get revealed, because I had to do that with myself and I had to make peace and forgive myself that at that point in time, based on whatever was happening in that relationship at that point in time, I felt and I thought I was doing the right thing for my child. And if ever didn't, but it's just that I need to be conscious in terms of that was my lessons. Don't just be too quick to introduce somebody. Although it can be a bit complicated depending on, like you said, where you stay. Sometimes you find another guy who feels that if you don't introduce me, it means you are not serious about me. So Leonet's got a lot of dynamics when it comes to Mujolo and the kids. However, though, I just think that as parents, we just need to be not too hard on ourselves because at the end, we need to live our life.
And the child has to see you as a parent being loved.
Yes.
Because it also affects them to say, but Mommy's always alone. Mommy, what is happening with my mom? You see, they get worried. You will be surprised when a 9-year-old asks you, but Ma, whether I've never seen you going out. You always home. They do get worried. So I think it's just a matter of explaining to them when we are with Uncle's Banban, tell them when the relationship has ended. I've introduced my daughter to my boyfriends before, but at the current moment, because I'm in a position now with at least the living arrangement allows me to date without exposing my child. For now, I think I'll
keep it to yourself.
Because
until such time you've got a promise ring or something.
Yeah, if ever.
Don't be too negative, it can happen. But I've learned so much, and I think but if we were to give somebody any advice out there, a young mother out there, and especially the one who finds themselves in I don't even say single parenting, I like the word a mother who happened to be single type of a thing. What type of advice can you give to somebody out there? Because the stereotype and what we hear on the news, it's not quite good about single parenting household. What type of advice can you just share if ever you're giving a platform, which is now, to the other mother out there?
I would say to any parent, single or within a relationship, enjoy the journey, because these kids, they go so fast. If you take the energy and you concentrate on the issue that you are alone or that you're trying too hard, by the time you open your eyes, like I live with my daughter, but every time I look at her, I'm like, you're smaller than me already.
Yeah.
So take time, enjoy the journey. There's always going to be something. Whether you are in a relationship or you are single, there's going to be something. There's going to be things that are going to be said. Enjoy the journey, because once they have grown up and they are out of your house, you will now want to do what you could have been doing now.
And it's already late by then, and you can't
So
even
they don't go back. Very few kids go back to home, like myself. Very few kids go back home. So make sure that each and every stage of your child, you enjoy it at that time, because you might never have to deal with a child at that age again. Me, I don't mind being a parent again. Baby daddy, I'm
Wherever you're out there.
I'm here.
Lesego, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And I think my takings from this is that there's nothing wrong of asking for help. There's nothing wrong when you see that you're overwhelmed and admitting and acknowledging that I need help. And if ever it means going back home and asking your own parents to assist, there's nothing wrong with that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I honor you and I appreciate you. And for our viewers out there, I hope this content is actually quite beneficial to you. It will also enable you to become a better parent out there. Keep on subscribing, comment. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, may peace and love be with you all.